Creatives, how are you? Welcome or welcome back to the Nerd Creative channel. DeAgostini Collectibles build the Moomin house. It's here. Box 22 is here. Let's go. We are fast approaching the end of this build. Not quite yet. Let's have a look inside box 22. So we've got components. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 components. Then we've got our magazines. Alright, let's get them in order. I think they are in order. Yep, they are. So, we've got issue 91, 92, 93, 94 and 95. Let's just have a look. There. It's a bit gleaming on the light now. In this video, we're going to complete issue 91 of the build. Grab yourself a coffee, sit back, relax and enjoy. With every stage of the build comes with component parts and a magazine. These, whoa, very interesting. Look at that. These are the component parts for issue 91. This is the finished house. We're not quite there yet. So let's have a look inside and see what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be building a bathhouse roof frame. Wow, interesting. And then we're going to be putting some steps on the boardwalk that we built earlier in the build. The marvellous inhabitants of Moomin Valley. Fantastic characters. The dance in the trees. The marsh lady. Fire spirits. Mud snakes. Sea creatures. Sea dogs. They leave the pier and set sail for adventure. The Moomins boat. So here's a list of all the components in this issue and the step-by-step instructions. Yeah, there's quite a lot going on there. So I'm just trying to think if I can get it done in one video or two. There's an interesting construction there, very similar to the roof. I'll probably split it into two. I'll probably do this for this in one video and this in another. So, as always, I like to make sure that what it says we have here that we've got here. So let's have a look at the inside the blister. So wow, got some interesting shapes happening, reminiscent of, I think they're part of the step. I think those are part of the steps. I think so. So I think I'll put them back because I think this is all we need. I believe. Yeah, I think this is all we need for the roof to the bathhouse. So we've got our components. We've got our magazine. Let's begin. The first thing I'm going to do is separate the strips from 1 and from 2. So I've got my craft knife going. gonna get where did I put them? Sanding sticks. Just checking. Just any rough edges that are left from the housing. It's only a tiny little bit. So these are ones and these are twos. Satisfying click. A bit of MSR, or if that's what it's called, or AMSR, I think it's called. Perfect. It's fortunate that the sanding stick fits just in there. There we go. That's the twos, that's the ones. So the next thing I'm going to do is get this circle interesting shape here. Okay, so we've got to cut this thing out because some of these parts are being used and some of them are not. So we're going to be using this, not this, this, not this. So let's see. Okay, so we're going to keep this one. We'll put that one aside. Okay, here. This we don't need. That we do need. This we don't need. This we need. I've laid down all the pieces that we need to paint. So I've got my two brushes. I've pre-mixed some burnt sienna and I've watered it down. So let's see how it goes. Not sure if we're going to paint it on both sides, I'll check. As it's thinned, it's more like stain rather than paint, which is good. And if you get too much on the brush, just wipe it onto the paper towel and that will thin it down. Yeah. I'll have to check to see if we're going to paint it on both sides. Okay. So I'm going to use the small brush for the smaller pieces and the bigger brush for the bigger pieces. So they've all been painted on both sides and they're pretty much all dry now. So we're going to start to piece them together. So the first thing I need is this piece and this piece. So I'm going to move everything else out of the way. So this piece has got to go onto here, like that. So I'm going to I might put blobs of glue on here. In strategic places. And then spread it around. Like that. Just get like a thin layer of glue all the way around. Making sure it's flush all the way around. There, leave that to dry. Okay, just position it so you can see. So you've got to, so I've turned this upside down like that. See, it's got the detail on it. So turn this upside down, and you've just got to line up. See the cutaways on each of on the circle, and just match them up with the cutaways all the way around here. So these are the short ones, and the short ones attached to the small one on the inside. So I'm going to put a bit of glue there, and then I'm going to attach it, but you only attach it to every other one. So I'm going to do that very similar to the way we put the roof together. So I'm going to put like a blob, tiny bit of glue in here, and then take it out again. Whoops. Like that. I'm going to get this. So I'm going to put this here. See how it goes together, like that. There, like that. And we're basically doing every other one. So I'm going to get another short one here. The glue that's left on this cocktail stick, and I'm going to do not that one, but the next one, which is there. Make sure it's I have to turn it that way to do that. Okay. Move on to the next one, just get some more glue on this cocktail stick. Oh, I think I put them on wrong actually. Hang on. Yeah, I have. Of course I have. There we go. Now we glue this part here. That's what we do, we glue this in like that. Like that. And then we don't do the next one, we do the one next to that, which is there. Yeah, that's it. I think I've got it on right, let me just see. There, that's that one in. Nope, done it wrong again. Yeah. Yep, done it wrong again. More glue. I'll get it right in a minute. Come on. Right, yeah, so we glue it in there where we glued it. Like that. But we put it on this one. Like that. There. Like that. Yes. Third time's the charm, by the way. Just that's a lot of glue there. Just put some in there, like that. Move on to the next. And the next. Till I get all this glue off this cocktail stick, for starters. He's got 2 more to do. One more. Just in there. There. Okay. I need something to sit it on. Obviously not that. Maybe this. Yeah. I'll leave it there to dry. So that's got to go in there. I've had to take some of them off because it's tricky to put this bit on. Like that. There. Like that. That's what I'm talking about. Oops. That. little bit tricky, but looks like it's flattening a little bit. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Kind of. I'll just work my way around again. Right. Yeah, that's it. It seems a bit flatter than I'd like it, but no, that's it. There. That's how it's supposed to go. It seems to be falling out. Just making sure that they're where they're supposed to be. Yeah, that's it. Just leave that dry. I'm going to put a couple of these taller ones on now. Oh, there's a lot of glue coming out of there. Ooh. So that's the top. put some glue in there. Obviously not that much. Put some glue in there. Take some of that glue out. And then it hits both places, it hits there and it hits in there like that. One directly opposite. Which is here. And then while we're doing this, we need a bit of glue there. A bit of glue there. We need to get this piece in place. There. Like that. So when we put the other pieces together, they should all slot in. So I'm going to do that now while it's still, while the glue's still wet, because we need to be able to move the things around, kind of bend them in the right place while it's still wet. It's otherwise, if you do it when they're dry, then you're not going to be able to manipulate things. So glue in there. Need some in there. And there. As we put the next one in place, in there. Oh dear. There. that in place because it wants to come out. Yeah, that doesn't want to hold in there for whatever reason. Around. Yep, that's how we do it. It's a bit fiddly, but if you do the top bit first and work your way down, everything fits in place. Like that. Don't think that one's in properly. I left my fan on as well. Let's see if I can just manipulate that a bit. Seems like it's not quite in properly. That's in. This one's not in properly. I can't move it now, so I'm just going to hold that in place to set. Yeah, that's not going to stay in there because this one's not in fully. I don't know why. It's just need to get that in there. Right, got 3 more to go in. Yeah, apologies about the fan. I didn't realise I still had it on. It's quite warm. It's quite warm. Just, so I don't know if you can actually, would have been able to hear what I was saying, but you could see what I was doing. Just need to get these 3 in best I can. That one in there. That in there. Hopefully that one's in the right place. Yeah, I think it is. Right. 2 more left. Get this spidery thing done. There. One more. And we're done. Yeah, it's very hot and dry. There, we're done. Leave that to dry. And that completes, there we go, that completes the first part of issue 91. I'd like to thank you for your company. I'll see you in the next video. Stay creative.